Good evening, you're watching KiniNews and I'm your host Prasad. Once bitten, twice shy. Surely Pakatan Harapan has not forgotten Muhyiddin Yassin's Sheraton move, and now with talk of him having secured enough support to return as Prime Minister, DAP has one question. Why would they support him?
DAP Secretary-General Anthony Loke Siew Fook has denied claims that he and other DAP MPs are supporting Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin to become Prime Minister again. This comes after Warisan President Shafie Apdal revealed the contents of a conversation he had with Muhyiddin. Shafie claimed Muhyiddin allegedly said he had secured the support of 119 MPs after negotiating with Loke and Pakatan Harapan chairperson Anwar Ibrahim. In a sarcastic response, Loke told Malaysiakini today that Muhyiddin would indeed become a Prime Minister again if such claims were true. In the text message, Loke said the claims are not true and questioned why the party would give their support to Muhyiddin. Yesterday, several media outlets quoted Shafie saying that Muhyiddin called him 2 months ago, seeking his support in a bid to retake Putrajaya. Shafie said Muhyiddin claimed to have the support of 119 MPs even without Warisan. Shafie added that he told Muhyiddin to carry on without Warisan.
UMNO Zahid Hamidi may be hoping for an early election, but Ismail Sabri Yaakob may have a timeline of his own. Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has downplayed calls for an early election. This is according to a report published by Nikkei today. In the report, Ismail Sabri cited a rise in food prices and other living costs. Ismail Sabri has been facing pressure from some in his party to call for an early vote. However, an election is not due until 2023. Some in his party are hoping to capitalize on UMNO's resurgent popularity in recent state polls. The Prime Minister told Nikkei in an interview that he will wait for the right time to call for an election. Meanwhile, Ismail Sabri also told Nikkei that the government was keen on reintroducing the GST. Ismail Sabri said the government was aware of the GST's unpopularity but had limited options, noting that it had lost 20 billion ringgit in annual revenue after the tax was abolished. Meanwhile, back to Muhyiddin's claim of having secured support, Pejuang says they have no part in it. According to Mukhris, they are focused on GE15.
Claims that Bersatu President Muhyiddin Yassin has sufficient support to return as Prime Minister are merely claims, according to Pejuang President Mukhris Mahathir. He said this is because the support must be proven, and Muhyiddin cannot use the same approach as the Sheraton move. Speaking to reporters at a Kelantan Pejuang event in Kota Baru today, Mukhris said Muhyiddin can no longer reuse his old tactic. He said this when asked to comment on a statement by Warisan President Muhammad Shafie Apdal, who claimed he was told that Muhyiddin had enough support to return as Prime Minister. Earlier, Shafie claimed that he was contacted by the Pagoh MP 2 months ago to receive support to become Prime Minister again. Shafie said Muhyiddin claimed to have the support of 119 MPs even without Warisan. Shafie then rejected Muhyiddin's request for support. Meanwhile, Mukhris added that Pejuang will not get involved in any attempt to topple the ruling government. He said the party will only focus on ensuring victory for its candidates in the upcoming 15th general election. He also stressed that the party had nothing to do with Muhyiddin's claim of securing support to be reappointed as Prime Minister.
Following PKR Central Election Committee's announcement of the unofficial results of the party polls, some from within the party are calling for an audit. PKR Vice President candidate Farhash Wafa Salvador Rizal Mubarak has repeated his call for an audit into the party election process. In a statement, he said many candidates have filed their objections against the election's unofficial results and raised their suspicion of possible manipulation. Farhash, who is a former aide to PKR President Anwar Ibrahim, was contesting for one of the 4 PKR Vice President posts and the Gombak Division Chief post. Elaborating further, the politician claimed that there are concerns about the transparency in PKR's online voting system. According to him, the online votes were counted by party election committee members without the presence of any representatives from candidates or a third party to ensure check and balance. Farhash also raised a red flag over the delay in announcing vote counts, which he said could have been done faster as the party uses an online voting system. Farhaj urged the party to heed calls by candidates who want a forensic audit to be carried out on the election. He also called for the party to use an election system that is free from any parties with a vested interest in its future elections. UUM officials today met with the parents of S. Vinosini after softening their stance on solidarity events following the student's death on campus.
University Utara Malaysia today has reversed its decision to impose a gag order barring students from speaking or attending events in regards to deceased student S. Vinosini. In a clarification today, it said solidarity events were allowed. However, it added that students should be mindful of their actions as the case is still under investigation by authorities. The UUM's Corporate Communication Department statement today was responding to a statement last Friday made by the UUM Vice-Chancellor's Student Affairs Office.
Tiada larangan untuk rakan-rakan sini untuk melakukan apa juga upacara lah ya, ataupun aktiviti mengenang. Kita sebagai sahabat, of course we have to spend time with colleagues, kawan-kawan, mengenangkan kawan kita yang telah pergi kan. Jadi saya sebagai ayah pun sama je bang sebenarnya. Tapi saya mohon maaf yang itu ada miscommunication di peringkat kita dan telah pun ditarik balik dan pelajar boleh secara terbuka untuk buat majlis memperingati Vinosini.
The office had issued a broad gag order to students, barring them from being involved in any activity or organizing activities such as forums or dialogues, or making any statements, speculations, assumptions, or opinions regarding Vinosini's death. It threatened students with disciplinary action if they defied the ban. The ban came ahead of vigils and student dialogues regarding Vinosini's death. Vinosini, aged 20, had died in her dorm room at UUM Sintok, Kedah campus on May 21st. The accounting student is suspected to have suffered a fatal electric shock. UUM has been accused of not being forthcoming regarding the circumstances of her death. Her father has lodged a police report against the university, citing possible negligence by administrators.
Khairi Jamaluddin, who has been appointed as the Vice Chair of the World Health Organization Executive Board representing the Western Pacific region, has big plans for the MySajatra app.
Malaysia has plans to expand the MySajatra app for purposes other than its original COVID-19 screening, monitoring and verification. This was revealed by Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin during the 75th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland. News portal Code Blue reported that Khairi talked about how the app's COVID-19 functions are now seen as tainted, but yet could be repurposed to tackle the non-communicable disease crisis in Malaysia. Khairi said he understood the complete fatigue with the COVID-19 app, but the country will not get the same once-in-a-generational population-wide enrollment onto an app like this. He cited that MySajatra has been downloaded by 30 million people in the 32 million Malaysian population. According to Code Blue, Khairi did not explain the types of data that would be included in a light record on MySajatra. As an example, Khairi reportedly cited Malaysia's National Immunization Program for infants and children offered against 13 major childhood diseases as low-hanging fruit that could be used for the expansion of the MySajatra app. Last week, Khairi also said MySajatra will be reactivated due to growing concerns surrounding the monkeypox virus, targeting inbound passengers who will be altered to monitor for any symptoms within 21 days. The application's latest update introduced this month also included an infectious disease tracker. This feature allows people to view hotspots of infectious diseases.
Blogger Cikgu Bat has apologized to Tony Pua over two slanderous Facebook posts made in 2019 when Pakatan Harapan was in power.
Johor Bersatu leader Bajul Hisham Shaharin has issued an apology to Damansara MP Tony Pua. Bajul Hisham also withdrew slanderous allegations made against the former DAP leader in two separate social media posts in 2019. The Bersatu man in a Facebook post on Saturday said he had received information from an individual with connections to the government, allegedly on matters happening within the then Pakatan Harapan administration, where Pua served as a political secretary to Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng. He admitted to authoring 2 Facebook posts on August 23rd and September 5th, 2019, from information which he did not personally verify and later found to contain slanderous allegations against Pua. He said he wholly regretted his actions and would like to apologize to Tony Pua and the DAP over words deemed defamatory and the allegations made. He also promised not to repeat, publish or reshare the slanderous words and allegations. Pua had in March last year sued Badrul Hisham for defamation over an allegation linked to the appointment of Sime Darby Properties Chief Executive Officer.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to Malaysiakini.com. I'm Prasad. Thank you for watching.